but I think my enjoyment was somewhat tainted by being somewhat over familiar with it, right? That was not true of this one, Terminus. I haven't seen probably since I bought the DVD, right? I was going to say, since I got the VHS, since I got the DVD. So first impression of this one is how insanely hot Sarah Sutton is through a lot of this, right? Sarah Sutton is just like crazily hot all of a sudden before they write her out, right? This outfit does her a lot of favors. So it's interesting, actually. The whole character Nissa, it's about a young girl maturing. When she first comes in, she's wearing that velvet cover from ankles to neck, as she's like playing a teenager. But as she gets older, her costume softens until this last one, she gets downright sexy, right? And there's a lot of stuff in it that's just interesting. Lisa Goddard and whoever it is, let me see if I can find the information on this one. Mordred Undead, Terminus. Right, it's directed by Mary Ridge, written by Mark Gallagher. So that's why I was interested in watching this, because Mark Gallagher is a really interesting director, right? A really interesting writer with doing hard science fiction. And in general, this one really works, right? In terms of script, the execution of it is a bit flabby. I think it probably would have been better at 3 episodes. Again, I watched this one with new special effects, and it was, I wouldn't say seamless, right? Why I prefer them, I don't see the model shots being so irredeemably bad that it distracted you. I think the new model shots here were somewhat better. So in terms of plot, you have a really interesting beginning. First, you got this like Turlo subplot where he's like keeps holding up his glass cube. Then, but I don't want to kill the doctor. You will kill the doctor, boy. But I don't want to. You will kill. Well, okay then. So starts off with a bit of Turlo sabotage in the TARDIS, which gets him to the location in a very interesting way. The TARDIS doesn't land. It kind of fuses with this spaceship in a strange manner, right? As the weirdly, by the way, Tegan and Nissa are sharing a room. I think adding fuel to their lesbian relationship, which I just don't really buy. I don't buy that Tegan or Nissa were bi, right, or gay. But you have this like reality bit erasing Nissa's room, and it locks onto another this ship, and a door opens up, which they're able to get into. So it's very interesting hard sci-fi, right? And again, it's a little bit overlong. So the Doctor ends up chasing them, and they all get separated. They all get cut off from the TARDIS. That they cut because the door closes and then it vanishes, and they're really cut off from the TARDIS, right? That's really super duper cut off from TARDIS, which I think is kind of a ballsy move. Then you have 2 space pirates turn up, and oh boy, they are so 80s. They are so intently 80s. It's like Lisa Goddard and who is it? I think Dominic Guard, maybe. Is it Dominic Guard? I think so. Yeah. And they got these massive space helmets, and they just look so insanely 80s. I mean, let's see if I can find their intro section, their introduction, which is just so freaking bizarre, right? It's so the costumes looks like they were designed by a very early in his career Steve Dillon, right? Which is super 1980s. Where did they come in the first episode or the second episode? I think in the second episode, right? I'm thinking the second episode. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can find them. Oh no, that's how they get Turlo and who was it? Nissa, maybe? No, Turlo and. Well, wait till they take the helmets off, right? And at that point, and again, kind of an unfortunate looking robot. Here, this is so intently 80s. And they take the helmets off. And that big 80s hair. But Ken, this looks like, again, early Steve Dillon doing this, right? But again, it's what good Doctor Who is. It takes you to an interesting universe, an interesting world, with an interesting problem, with interesting characters, right? So then you have basically they were space pirates, but it doesn't really matter. It turns out they're on a laser ship, which is like a leprosy ship, and they go to this place called Terminus where they'll be cured, but they're treated very badly. The design work is phenomenal. For there's this anti-radiation armor that apparently everybody there it's very bleak, this story. Everybody there is a slave, including the guards, and they wear this like radiation armor, which I find fantastic design, right? Absolutely fantastic design. Let me see if I can point that out. Now, they don't talk about if it was mentioned in the script that it had this like weird skeletal design. Here we go. Yeah, I really like this, right? It gives it its own visual identity, which I think it very, very much needs, right? So, yeah, look, that's the basic story that they work up also. However, you have one thing in it, which is beg of you, redo the Garn special effects. That is what it brings down an otherwise very, very strong story. Let's see if we can find something like the design of it isn't so bad, but like the way it walks is just awful, and it's just like so non-menacing. So yeah, this whole thing needs to be somehow they need to redo the card because it destroys it really destroys the show. Right, here it goes. So we'll see a bit of him walking.
Quick! I can't, I'm not strong enough.
So that's one of the more convincing moments of the Garn, right? And again, you get this world kind of like weird S&M stuff as he takes off a barely closed Nissa. And again, I don't know how you I think you can clean this up and put a new creature effect in, right? Do that on Caves of Androzar as well with the Magma Beast. Because this is just ridiculously awful, right? Like how anybody looked at this and went, "Oh, that's okay," is beyond me, right? It's genuinely beyond me. So also you got this good political struggle going on between the guards, and you have who is it playing quite like again a very dark character, Andrew Burt playing Valgard, a very dark character. As they try and work out what's going on, it's about radiation leaks from inside the ship. So it's lots of very hard sci-fi, right? And then, 1 second, filled with quite a lot of very good Nissa eye candy. What Nissa eye candy? Well, let's have a quick look. See if we can find some more Garm images as well, because, man, that is unbelievably bad. But again, I mean, this guy's performance as the guard is really good. So this is one of the stupid things in it. As the ship is counting down to destruction, a big red lever is turning, and they figure if they could just stop the lever turning, they can. Oh, there she is. They could just stop they'll stop the self-destruct. 1 second. Turlo being duplicitous. I mean, I don't remember Nissa being so spankable. I just do not. And boy, that's pretty good. So this is last show, and now she's cured from Lazar disease. This is last. It was not her. But again, I think this is a real solid and far better than I remember. Very solid Peter Davison story, right? I think one that really works long way. Again, killed by the gun, just absolutely killed by it, right? So there's a lot of good extras on this disc. Firstly, you got the update special effects. I don't really care about the spaceships. It just replaced Garn. That was also maybe that awful robot as well. Audio commentary, Peter Davison, Sarah Sutton's Mark Strickson, and Stephen Gallagher, recorded in 2007. Yeah, it was really good sci-fi horror, right? It was really good, creepy sci-fi horror. Isolated music score, again, if you want to kill yourself by. Making of documentary, contributors include Peter Davison, Sarah Sutton, Mark Strickland, and Stephen Gallagher. Again, I found the most interesting bit of Stephen Gallagher talking about where it was coming from with the story, right? Again, which I found really quite interesting. Sarah Sutton featurette, that's from the DVD released in 2007. Quite interesting. Storyboards, Origin of the Universe, Patrick Moore looks at the science behind it. Audio archive, interview with Sarah Sutton, Trails of Continuity, photo gallery, as always. Behind the Sofa, which I love. And the pièce de résistance on this disc, right? And it is a pièce de résistance. It's fantastic. Is in conversation. You got Matthew Sweet talking to Janet Fielding and Sarah Sutton. So I thought it was a bit weird doing them together. It really works. Again, Matthew Sweet is fantastic. He's very good at this. Don't get him talking about vaccines or Brexit, but you haven't talked about Doctor Who. He knows what he's talking about, and I like the way he teases out the stories from Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding. Janet Fielding talks, and Sarah Sutton talks about leaving and basically being fired because they wanted less people in the TARDIS. And yeah, all the way through this season so far, Peter Davison's utter irritation at Tegan bleeds through everything, right? Bleeds through absolutely everything. But far better than I remember, right? Far better than I remember. I am looking forward to going to Enlightenment, if only for the contest of heaving bosoms. You got Captain Rack, you got Janet Fielding, lots of heaving bosoms, and I think for our homosexual contingent, who was it? The guy from Hot Chocolate. Lee, whatever they are, I think he was a bit of a tail as well. So something for everyone in Enlightenment. I am looking forward to getting that disc. So far, look, my favorite box set so far has been the season 22, Colin Baker's one, even though that wasn't a great season, just with the content they put on it. But this one's been absolutely excellent, right? So yeah, I am reaching for the Terminus, the Enlightenment disc. The only thing. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.